bansang sinisinta. Ang DOST ay sumilang na, lingkod ang bayan sa tuwina. Pagtuklas ng bagong karunungan sa iba't ibang uring agaw. Pagbitig sa ganan at kaunlaran ng ating lipunan. Ibandila ang kanyang sagisag, kay tanda ng pagsisikap. Pagtungan natin pangarap ay biyayang malalasang. Magpugay tayo ng sabay-sabay, mabuhay, mabuhay ang DOST. Ang siyensya'y sandigan na maunlad na bayan, layunin nakita at maipagkakapuri. Pagkaisa ng dalangin para sa ilang bayan. Mabuhay, mabuhay ang DOST. Ang siyensya'y sandigan na maunlad na bayan, layunin nakita at maipagkakapuri. Pagkaisa ng dalangin para sa ilang bayan.
Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, simula nung pagbabago. Sabay-sabay na hahakbang at isigaw sa buong mundo. Ikaw ang siyang liwanag na magbibigay pag-asa na makamit ang tagumpay. Sama-sama mabuti ng mga pangarap, magkaisang tahakin ang daan ng liwanag. Tayo ang simula ng pagbabago, simbolo ng isang matibay na Pilipino. Mag-ambisyon tungo sa kinabukasan, mag-ambisyon para sa pamilya ng bayan. Tayo na't magkaisa, tuparin ang mga pangarap, tanggalin ang pagsisikap ang bawat isa. Sama-sama mabuti ng mga pangarap, magkaisang tahakin ang daan ng liwanag. Tayo ang simula ng pagbabago, simbolo ng isang matibay na Pilipino. Mag-ambisyon tungo sa kinabukasan, mag-ambisyon para sa pamilya ng bayan. Tayo na't magkaisa, tuparin ang mga pangarap, tanggalin ang pagsisikap ang bawat isa. Ang bawat pamilyang Pilipino, isa ang hangarin sa buhay. Ang maging matatag, maginawa at panatag ang buhay mo, buhay ko, buhay nating lahat. Tayo ang simula ng pagbabago, simbolo ng isang matibay na Pilipino. Mag-ambisyon tungo sa kinabukasan, mag-ambisyon para sa pagunlad ng bayan. Tayo na't magkaisa, tuparin ang mga pangarap, magiling at pagsisikap ang bawat isa. Mag-ambisyon tungo sa kinabukasan, mag-ambisyon para sa pagunlad ng bayan.
maging matapat. Mabuhay, 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 Sultan Kudarat. Isig pag-isahin sa lahat ng mithiin, ang lakas pag-ibayuhin, disiplina'y pahirahin. Sultan Kudarat, sa gisag ng maging matapat. Mabuhay, 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 Sultan Kudarat. Mabuhay, mabuhay, mabuhay ang Sultan Kudarat.
You may now be seated. Now, let us hear a welcome remarks and the introduction of the guest of honor and speaker. Let's give big hands to the DOST 12 Regional Director, the ever-active Engineer Sammy P. Malawan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I wish to acknowledge the presence of our VIP today and other visitors. We have Inspector Darius Smith Ten Chavez, the Assistant Warden of Isulan District Jail, Police Light Colonel Felix L. Fornan, our Chief Provincial Administrative and Resource Management Unit of SK PPO, Engineer Jeffrey M. Bagasbas, Special Science Teacher of PSHS Sergeant Campus, Rex L. Tranquilero, MD and MPH, our Medical Officer 4, Chief of Hospital Bagumbayan Infirmary, Dr. Preciosa Corazon B. Pabrova, Nuclear Research Division Chief of the DOST Philippine Nuclear Research Institute, Mr. Carl Vincent Cabanilla, Senior Science Research Specialist of DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute, Ms. Melissa C. Bulao, Supervising Science Research Specialist of DSTP Card, Ms. Annabel Villalobos, or Dr. Annabel Villalobos, corresponding member of the National Academy of Science and Technology, Philippines. Mr. Alpon B. Narqueta, Senior Science Research Specialist of DST STII, or Science Technology Information Institute, to the second in command of the 102nd Brigade of the Philippine Army and other military troops or uniformed men in our PNP, my kapamilya sa DOST 12, other visitors from the different DOST Research Institute, councils, teachers, students, sa ating mga local government officials, guests, ladies and gentlemen, a sense-filled day to each and everyone. Welcome to the Day 3 of the 2033 Soxargen Regional Science, Technology and Innovation Week celebration. This event is a testimony of our synergy and untiring efforts as one DOST to realize our goals and aspirations in bringing science, technology, and innovation closer to the people. Today, we'll be building a compendium of knowledge focusing on STI for health and human and well-being, recognizing the role of science, technology, and innovation as a building block for a healthier and brighter future for our community and its people. We'll be enlightened with the significant DOST efforts to ensure the development of our human resource and the realization of improved quality of Filipino living. We are our nation's treasure, and it is our responsibility to make ourselves knowledgeable to become productive citizens of our country in building a better future for our generation and the next. Thus, I encourage everyone to realize or seize every opportunity for learning and participate in the series of plenary sessions we prepared to give you a closer look to the different forces of STI as an integral part of our lives. Good day and wassalam.
Thank you so much, RD Sam. Now, let us hear a word of inspiration from the Medical Officer 4, Chief of Hospital of Bagumbayan Infirmary, Dr. Rex L. Tranquillero, MD, MPH.
So good morning everyone. Kamusta po kayo? I hope you are all feeling well today. I want you to look at the person beside you. Mukhang okay pa ba? Mukhang inspired pa ba today? Hindi? So my task for today is to give an inspirational message to all of you, especially to those students who I believe can relate to what I will be sharing with you today. But before I proceed, first I would like to thank the DOST 12, headed by our Regional Director, Engineer Sammy P. Malawan, for inviting me once again and be part of this year's Regional Science and Technology Week celebration. It is nice to see you once again, sir, no? After the Region 12 DOST Scholars Exit Conference held last July 6, 2023 in Jensen. Also, to the Sultan Kudarat Provincial Science and Technology Office, headed by our Provincial Director, Ms. Zenaida Guiano, who personally called and coordinated with me regarding this speaking engagement. Actually, when I received the email from the DOST 12, I was having a second thought if I'm going to accept the invitation or not, since I just gave an inspirational message, the same inspirational message to the graduating DOST Scholars of Region 12 during the DOST Scholars Exit Conference 2 months ago. But the fact that the regional office invited me once again made me think and presume that maybe they really want my story of success with DOST to be heard as well by other students from the different schools in the entire region and get inspired by it, and so I accepted the invitation. Let me begin by telling you about my family background before I talk about how the Department of Science and Technology has actually helped me in becoming the person I am today. I was born in a remote barangay in the municipality of Bagumbayan of this province, Sultan, Kudarat, as the youngest among the 10 children of my parents who both came from the families of farmers. Thus, neither of them ever had the opportunity to enjoy the learning experiences we had in school. My father's highest educational attainment was just grade 4, since he was forced to stop due to poverty. My mother, on the other hand, was a little bit luckier because she was managed to reach high school before she was compelled to drop out for the same reason, poverty. Even though they did not have permanent employment to support our growing family, they were nevertheless able to have 10 children. I cannot even begin to understand the hardships they endured and the laborious daily tasks they had to perform to meet our basic necessities. As we were growing up, our parents had to work 10 times more than the other parents did just to send the 10 of us to school for us to attain the complete education they never had, and eventually we could have a better life in the future. We have seen all the struggles and hardships they have to endure. That's why we did our part by giving our best in school. Our parents have also recognized the efforts we poured in our studies. That's why we really work hard. They really work hard and committed to send us to college. But there was a catch. The path we must take was predetermined, meaning the course we must take in college will be of their choice and it was not negotiable. The only option we had that time were, first, to take up the course our parents wanted us to take and have their full support. Second, to let go of the dream of going to college and work in the family-owned small piece of farmland instead. And third, to pursue the course we really want to take but receive little to no support from them. Meaning, we are on our own and we have to find our own means to support our studies. All of my 9 siblings chose from the first 2 options. Some of them did not finish college. Some of them did finish college. However, they're not able to practice their profession because they never really liked the course in the first place. But since I was more ambitious and I don't want to just go with the path my parents wanted me to take, I became stubborn. I resisted. I gambled. I tried my luck. I just prayed that despite being stubborn, God will still be on my side and guide me in all my future endeavors. I grabbed all the scholarship opportunities available back then, and it was where my journey with the DOST started through the DOST Science Education Institute, or DOST SEI. It was in the year 2006 when I heard the DOST SEI scholarship program from our science teacher, and that the program is offering an enticing amount of financial assistance. That teacher encouraged us, the top 10% of the graduating class, to take the exam, but warned us that the exam was extremely difficult and that only few takers could pass the examination. True enough, the exam was very difficult, especially the linguistic and the memory recall portions. But lucky enough, I, the stubborn child, passed the scholarship exam. And unexpectedly, my parents celebrated with me and promised that they will still give their full support whatever path I will choose to take. I was so happy back then. However, towards the end of my high school days, my mother had been in and out of the hospital because of the medical condition I know nothing about that time. This burdened us so much, both emotionally and financially. From then on, I was no longer expecting financial support from my family. From that point, I realized that it was also part of God's plan that I will be stubborn for once in my life so that I and the DOST will cross paths. But just to be clear, I am not encouraging you students to go against your parents or guardians just because it yielded a very favorable result to me. Parents have their personal reasons why they wanted us to follow their decisions. And in our case, wala kaming sama ng loob sa aming parents because we processed and understand our family situation very well. I hope you will too. Going back to my story, because of the scholarship, I was able to enroll the course I really wanted at that time, which was Bachelor of Science in Electronics and Communication Engineering in a prestigious school in South Cotabato, the Notre Dame of Marbella University. It was a dream come true for me. Two dreams came true that time actually. First, I was able to pursue my dream course. And second, I was able to experience the feeling of being able to study in a private school at last. I was so excited to study engineering back then. However, bad news came in. I was told that I cannot pursue BS ECE in NDMU because of some technical reasons. Therefore, I either have to change my course while staying at the same school or continue with the same course while attending a different institution. And secondly, my mother passed away a month before I started college. Fast forward, I was still able to study in NDMU for a year but with a different course. But eventually transferred to a much affordable institution which also offers excellent quality education, the Mindanao State University General Santos City Campus, taking up Bachelor of Science in Biology. Some of you may wonder why I never pursued BSECE in MSU during the said transfer. The main reason was I felt guilty for not following my parents. I blamed myself for being stubborn and lived with a false belief that really pursuing BSECE against my parents' will had contributed to the development of the condition that caused my mother's death. And if you will ask me why BS Biology of all the courses, my rationale behind was that I bagged the Best in Science award when I graduated in high school. And it so happened that biology was my favorite subject back in high school. So, I decided to capitalize on something I believe I am good at. But pursuing Doctor of Medicine was never part of the plan during that time. Having transferred to a state university still posed several challenges to me. One of which was that I was on my own and I have to maintain my scholarship in order to finish college. Unluckily, I was informed by the DOST 12 personnel that I need to have a regular status, meaning I need to have a regular number of academic units every semester for me to continuously receive my stipends. Since I have no other source of financial support, I really need to have a regular status. Hence, I started from the very beginning. None of my subjects from NDMU was credited, which rendered all my expenses, effort, and time spent for a year in that school to waste. But I have no other option at hand that time. To cut it short, with the help of the Department of Science and Technology through the DOST SEI Scholarship Program, my 4-year stay in MSU and the pursuit of having a college degree was made possible. I was able to complete all my academic and non-academic requirements, including my thesis, and was able to take the National Medical Admission Test, which is a prerequisite for enrolling to any medical school in the country using the money I received from the scholarship program. I can proudly say that I survived college with the help of the DOST through the DOST SEI. Although I did not graduate from MSU with flying colors, just like most of the DOST scholars, Having the words DOST scholar on my resume have been my advantage over the other applicants every time I look for a job before. Immediately after graduation, I was hired as a call center agent and worked for several months until I decided to go back to MSU and earn academic units in order for me to fully qualify to enter MSU College of Medicine. After that, as I was hired as a full-time instructor in the Notre Dame of Marvel University, teaching biology subjects to various courses, including human anatomy for medical technology students. Even during my College of Medicine application day, that portion on my resume caught the attention of the panel of interviewers. They thought that since I was a DOST scholar, I can cope up with all the academic requirements the College of Medicine demands, so they approved my application and was admitted to the most affordable medical school in the country, and that is Mindanao State University College of Medicine in Iligan City. And they were right. I was able to finish my medical degree on time, though I had been on several retakes on most of the subjects, but eventually passed the physician licensure examination last September 2019. And since the municipality where I was born at and raised from was needing another doctor to supplement in the provision of medical services to its more than 70,000 population, I applied to the Department of Health as the doctor to the barrio as my way of giving back to the community where I came from. Luckily, my stars were on a perfect alignment, so I was assigned in my home municipality, Bagumbayan, as planned for 3 years. But even before my 3-year contract with DOH ended, I was fortunate enough to be hired by the local government unit of Bagumbayan and was given a plantilla position with a designation of Medical Officer 4 and was appointed as the Chief of Hospital of its newly established infirmary hospital in the municipality from February 16, 2022 up to the present. And that made me the youngest Chief of Hospital in the entire region. Although it is not always evident that the Department of Science and Technology have helped me reach the place where I am right now, what I am certain of and what I will be forever be grateful for is that the Department of Science and Technology initiated a series of fortunate events that happened to me and eventually paved the way that led me to where I am now. With the help of the DOST, the dream of my parents for me to have a better life have come into reality. To the Department of Science and Technology, DOST SEI, and especially to the DOST Region 12, thank you very much for giving the what you called less fortunate but deserving students like me the opportunity to reach our full potentials. The chance to pursue our greatest dreams and become someone we really wanted to be and be of help in shaping the future of this region and the betterment of the country as a whole. I will be forever grateful and thankful for this life-changing opportunity. Rest assured that I will continue to pay it forward by helping those who are in need of my services, especially those who are less privileged like me. I guess that concludes my life experiences on how the department has helped me in my endeavors. But before I leave this podium, let me give you the salient points I want you to get from my story. First, not all of us are privileged enough to be born in a well-off family. If you are, good for you. If not, don't fret. Education is not just for those who can afford it. It is also for those who have the courage, determination, and wit to pursue it just like you, just like us. Challenges and trials are just normal part of our daily lives. They are not made to make us fall, but rather they are designed to make us strong and be a better version of ourselves. So embrace them wholeheartedly and overcome them one challenge or trial at a time. Our family's economic status does not and will never be a determinant of what we could be in the future. Do not limit your dreams based on your family's income. In dreaming, sky is the limit, so dream big. Fourth, our lives are full of detours. Decide which detour you will take. Some of these detours can be long and tiring, long enough that sometimes will challenge your patience. But eventually, these detours will lead you to a life that is way better than what you have been dreaming of. And lastly, just like science and technology itself, which aim to make our lives better and easier, the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, through its various programs, will surely help us in achieving our full potential, secure a better future, and give us a life that can be of use to the betterment of society where we live in through the products, innovations, and services we can offer to the community. Thank you very much once again for this opportunity to share with you my life story with the OST, and I hope I fulfilled the very reason why I'm here today, and that is to inspire you. Good morning once again, and I hope and pray that everyone will remain healthy and strong at all times. Again, I am Rex L. Tranquillero, a doctor of medicine, a master of public health, a former DOST SEI RA 7687 scholar, and a forever proud product of the Department of Science and Technology, Region 12. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that very inspiring message, Dr. Rex. Indeed, there's so much opportunities DOST has to offer for us. At this juncture, we would now be proceeding to the awarding of plaque of recognition to our guest of honor and speaker. To award the plaque, may I request the presence of the DOST 12 Regional Director, Engineer Sammy P. Malawan, to please come up on stage. Joining with him is the Assistant Regional Director for Technical Services Division of the DOST 12, Engineer Normina Pam. Also joining with them is the Assistant Regional Director for Administrative and Finance Division of the DOST 12, Sir Lucas Wahid.
Allow me to read the citation. Republic of the Philippines, Department of Science and Technology, Region 12. This plaque of recognition is proudly presented to Dr. Rex L. Tranquillero, MD, MPH, DOST SEI Scholar, Graduate, and Medical Officer 4, Chief of Hospital, Bagumbayan Infirmary, Sultan, Kudarat, for his profound passion and dedication, and in recognition of his unwavering support and knowledge-based contribution as guest of honor and speaker during the 2023 Suxurgen Regional Science, Technology, and Innovation Week celebration given this 15th day of September 2023 in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat, Philippines. Signed, Sammy P. Malawan, Regional Director.
Thank you so much. Now, let's proceed to the highlight of this morning's program, in which we would be learning a lot of fascinating things. The Forum on STI for Health and Well-Being. I'd like to remind our presenters that your presentation would only last for 20 minutes. And after your presentation, we would cater maximum of 3 questions from our audiences. Now to start with the topic about leveraging national and regional health research and development agenda to achieve health outcomes. Our speaker obtained her bachelor's degree in chemistry from the University of the Philippines, Diliman in 2009. In the same year, she passed the chemistry licensure examination. To broaden her knowledge and awareness in health research, She further took a postgraduate diploma in international health in the UP Open University and graduated with a Dean's List or Magna Cum Laude distinction. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Ms. Bulao also served as one of the lead secretariat of the National Task Force's COVID-19 Vaccine Cluster Task Group on Vaccine Evaluation and Selection. Currently, she is the Supervising Science Research Specialist of the DOST Philippine Council for Health Research and Development. Please help me welcome Ms. Melissa C. Bulao.
So magandang umaga sa lahat. Whom of you was inspired to take a science course based on the speech of our guest speaker earlier? Hala, I see no hands. Nakikinig ba kayo? Ayan, I see hands. So, it's always an honor to be of service to the DOST family. I myself is a DOST scholar. I was a Pisay Bicol graduate. And it is again an honor for me to be able to impart to you what we do in PCHRD, and hopefully this will help you realize how we determine our health priorities in the country and where our funds for health research is going. Sorry, I'm just having some technical difficulty. Okay, so just a short background. So the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development is one of the 3 sectoral planning councils of DOST. So for those who were here the other days listening to talks, we have what we call research and development institutions. Within the DOST system, there are those who conducted R&D. On the other hand, there is a sectoral planning councils where we are the ones developing the national agenda for R&D, and at the same time, we provide funding for health research. So sa DOST, ang PCHRD, we supervise or oversee everything about health research. And then we also have a dual role by virtue of what we call the Philippine National Health Research System Act, where we are the lead coordinator of this system, overseeing the activities in the country. So what is the PNHRS? So it is essentially a national strategy to ensure that all the priorities of the government as far as health research funding is concerned is aligned, and investments are poured into this system to ensure also that the policies of the government is science-based. So the PNHRS is composed of 4 agencies: the Department of Science and Technology, the Department of Health, the Commission on Higher Education, and the University of the Philippines, Manila through its National Institutes of Health, with the PCHRD as the lead coordinator. So in health research, there is no competition. Instead, there is complementation. So through the PNHRS, through its enactment, this has also been vital in instituting what we call the Regional Health Research Development Consortia. So through this consortia, we are able to devolve our capacity building activities for R&D, for people, for infrastructure development, and also to the translation of research to policies, products, and others. So in fact, we have 17 consortia in all of the countries, and those beginning or early career researchers can actually get their research grants and other opportunities from training through the consortia. So in Region 12, the consortia is managed none other than by our DOST 12. So our anchors for funding health research at the national level is based on what we call the National Unified Health Research Agenda. And at the regional level, it's called the Regional Unified Health Research Agenda. So the NURA and RURA are the documents stated in the PNHRS law that states our investments in health research should be aligned to the priorities identified by the system every 6 years. So if you're wondering how do we develop the NURA, we implement what we call bottoms-up approach, meaning nagko-consult tayo sa mga tao, whether it's from academe, it's from the health community, the private sector, and then inaakyat natin to pataas at dinedetermine natin ano ang mga health research needs na iaakyat sa national level at ito ang magfo-form part ng NURA. On the other hand, those regional concerns, the priorities will form part of what we call the RURA. So last August 2023, we launched the NURA 4. So this will cover 2023 to 2028. So on a broad note, this will be the priorities of the government for health research in the next 6 years. So it will cover disease management, halal in health, health security, emergency and disaster risk management, health technology and innovation, health of vulnerable populations, health promotion, health system strengthening towards UAC, maternal, newborn, and child health, mental health, nutrition and food security, and sexual and reproductive health. So these are actually very broad, and when we issue the detailed agenda, it will contain the specific topics on what under these areas can we fund. So actually, pretty much everything you can think about health will be actually covered by this agenda. So for Region 12, the identified top 10 themes based on the workshop that has been done in the region, although this is still subject for final validation with RHRDC, is the universal healthcare implementation, health innovation, non-communicable diseases, health information systems, health service delivery, health equity and inclusion, infectious diseases, nutrition, environmental health, and disaster risk and reduction. So if you are a researcher from Region 12 and you'll be planning to ask for funding from the RHRDC 12, your research should be along these topics for you to get funded by the region. So, as stated above, PCHRD has a dual role. So, apart from managing the agenda, as an institution of the DOST, we pretty much cover end-to-end as far as research funding is concerned. So, we monitor and evaluate proposals. We also provide support for institutions who are interested to set up their ethics committee. So, yung ethics committee, ito yung mga committee natin na nagre-review kung yung mga studies ba na may kinalaman sa mga tao ay tama ang pag-conduct, hindi maaabuso ang participants. Nandun ang safety measures kung for example, medyo sensitive yung topic na ika-conduct. We do capacity building, we provide scholarships and also funds for institution building. We also provide support for research dissemination and technology transfer. Kasama dito yung pagpapublish, pagpe-present sa conferences, pag-hold ng conferences. And pati na rin po, kung meron kayong research and gusto nyo tong i-translate into a policy. So we cover everything. So ang division namin, kung saan ako nabibilang, kami ang may handle po sa council ng research management. So we evaluate the proposals submitted to PCHRD for funding and we also monitor and evaluate them until completion. So ang anchors ng PCHRD sa pag-fund ng R&D ay dalawa. Una, ang na-mention ko na po kanina, ang NURA, at gayon din ang Harmonized National R&D Agenda ng DOST. So under this two agendas, we have 10 programs. So if you will be asking for support from PCHRD, these are the 10 general topics that we support. First is drug discovery and development, or ang tinatawag natin na Tuklas Lunas. So sa Region 12, meron tayong Tuklas Lunas Center sa University of Southern Mindanao. So the goal of this program is essentially leveraging our biodiversity and trying to establish what are the medicinal benefits that can be derived from our bioresources. So we support the development of standardized herbal drugs. Kung familiar kayo sa lagundi, yun ang isang forma ng herbal drug. Kasama na din yung pagtuklas, ano ba yung kunyarin mga nasa halaman at resources natin galing sa dagat at paano natin to mapag-aaralan para maging medisina. Kabilang din ang what we call functional food, which is essentially establishing the nutritional benefits of a food or a plant beyond their usual nutritional benefit. So, maaari niyong tanungin, food na siya, bakit may functional food pa? Pwede niyong isipin na kunyari, merong mushroom. Ang mushroom kinakain mo, halimbawa dahil, for example, mababa sa carbohydrates, mababa yung sugar. Pero what if nakakitaan mo siya ng hypertensive activity? So this activity is not part of the usual things you expect from the mushroom. And when you establish this to an R&D, it has the potential to convert this ordinary mushroom into a functional food. And then, of course, we also have a program on nutrition and food safety, which looks into addressing concerns on human nutrition problems, such as micronutrient and macronutrient deficiencies, including issues on food safety. And then, we have a program on re-emerging and emerging diseases. So for those who are wondering what is a re-emerging disease, ito yung mga disease noon na akala natin wala na, pero nagbabalik or dumadami ngayon. A good example, schistosomiasis. And then, ang infectious diseases naman, emerging yung mga pausbong pa lang. So nung 2019, nung nagsisimula pa lang ang COVID, hanggang early 2020, it was still considered then an emerging infectious diseases. So under the said program, we fund R&D looking into solutions to this type of diseases, whether ito ay pagpe-prevent, pagtitreat, or pagmamanage ng disease. And then we also have omic technologies for health, which is essentially using DNA, RNA of a bacteria, of a person, into establishing what are the causes of diseases, what are possible indicators of diseases, including how you convert them, for example, to diagnostics or ways into identifying paano ka nagkakaroon ng disease. And then diagnostics, the use of tools, developing technologies to detect diseases. And then we have biomedical engineering, those that can be used in the hospitals, devices that can be used, for example, to assist those post-operation and those that have stroke. Digital and frontier technologies, essentially the application, for example, of AI, IT, and other frontier technologies such as big data analytics to improve health information systems and other technologies for health. Mental health, so this is one of our newer program. This was set up because of the demand of the mental health law to provide R&D to establishing what is the mental health status of various populations in the country, including technologies to address this. And last but not the least, looking into the impacts of health by disaster and climate change and addressing this. So with the 10 programs that we are supporting, what can be expected when we fund R&D? So DOST has what we call the 6P system when we evaluate researches. So we analyze, for example, how this research can result to publication. So contribution to knowledge, informing us of things that are not yet established before, of new ways of doing things. Patent or IP, so kung meron ka na-develop na technology or process, pwede mo tong ipaprotect, and this can have a model wherein the researcher can earn later on from his or her royalty kung ma-commercialize ito. Product, very straightforward. People services, meaning ang research ba ay makakapag-result sa training ng mga tao, sa pagpapadami ng mga eksperto sa isang field. Places and partnerships, ano ang mga nabubuong collaboration sa research, whether this is university to university, university to LGU, and policy recommendations. Anong datos sa research ninyo ang pwedeng makatulong doon sa mga gumagawa ng batas para mapaunlad yung mismong batas or yung isang issue sa bansang ito. So eventually, these outputs hopefully can result to social and economic impact. So ito yung long-term or pangmatagalang gusto nating makuha sa pagkakonduct ng R&D. So, what are the examples of PCHRD-funded projects in the region, in Mindanao specifically? So, we have a project that aims to address national and health concerns. So, we have this one very big program, for example, what we call Inter-Regional Network through One Health approach to combat AMR in the region. So, this is implemented by MSU Marawi, MSU Jensen, UP Diliman, and the Central Luzon State University. So antimicrobial resistance results from incorrect use of antibiotics or very frequent use of antibiotics in our food. So ang study na to, ina-establish niya nasa ng hotspots ng antimicrobial resistance at through which pathway? Is it through the food? Is it in hospital setting? Is it exposure? So yun yung gustong sagutin ng R&D na to. And then we have another program in Davao, which we call Research and Development Center for Maternal and Child Health. So this is one of the NICERs of DOST, which seeks to address some important questions about maternal and child health in the region. So this program is composed of 3 projects. Yung first 2 is essentially answering the questions, what is it unique in the mother and child, which, for example, can answer questions like, are they affecting each other in terms of dengue severity or postpartum depression? So, yun yung mga questions na sinasagot ng projects na to. And then, of course, R&D enables us to leverage resources from the region for general health and wellness. So for example, the University of Southern Mindanao Tuklas Lunas Development Center studies plants from the region, endemic or indigenous. They're looking into the anti-cancer potential of these plants. And through this program, they were actually established their cell-based laboratory assays, among others, and trained their people. And we are anticipating a second project from them, which will move forward the results of their first project. And then in University of Southern and Technology of Southern Philippines, we have what we call Alternative Staples for Health program, which, for example, the first project looks into white corn grits and see can they be an alternative food that addresses concerns in gut and microbiota. So titingnan nito yung study sa level ng community, and they're partnering with UPLB and a local corporation called Kalaymanan Agri-Development Corporation para ma-establish yung nutritional benefits ng white corn grits. And then, research also supports health technology needs for better decision-making. A good example is our project that we have supported in Mindanao, wherein UP Mindanao developed a predictive tool for rabies for the local government of Davao. So using a combination of mathematical and genomic approach, they were able to determine nasa ng hotspots ng rabies sa city, paano ito nag-move based on sa genomic data. And because of this, they now know which areas to target, saan ang possible movement ng rabies. And the results of this project serves as basis for some policy recommendations for the Animal Welfare and Protection Code in Davao. And of course, many of us may already have heard of universal healthcare system. So this law will require that our LGUs, our provinces, our cities eventually go into e-health, that everything about our health data will become digitized for better integration. But the thing is, there's a gap at the local level or how to implement this. And this is a gap that research can answer. So in this project, which is heavily co-funded by the LGU of CD, Cagayan de Oro and Pangasinan, they co-developed with Ateneo de Manila University a local health information system. So they modified existing DOST technologies, the eHatid system, to cater to the needs of the LGU for their health information system. And the list of technologies goes on. So here are just some examples of health technologies that DOST already funded and most of which have already been commercialized, meaning they are already in the market or in the final stages of clinical trial. So sa mga hindi nakakaalam, isang unique sa health research is that you really need to prove that your technology does no harm above anything else to people. So this is the importance of what we call clinical studies. It doesn't matter if beneficial yung technology mo, if it will harm the people in any way, then it is not ideal to use. So we have the standardized tawa-tawa health supplements, which has been proven in animal studies to really support low increase of blood platelets. So this will be subjected to phase 1 clinical trial. And then Lagundi, which is already an established herbal drug. But during the pandemic, nakakitaan sa clinical studies na these are beneficial for COVID patients. So that particular study became the basis on why Lagundi was included in the PhilHealth care package for COVID patients. And then of course, the work of FNRI on VCO has been very extensive, including showing also their beneficial effects for patients with COVID. And topical formulations with a local plant commonly consumed in Region 6, which has been proven to have antibiotic activities. So we have that Kadios cream. And if you are interested to know about more this product, there's a PCHRD booth later which you can visit. In terms of diagnostic kits, of course, the Biotech M kit, it's in the market. It's a lamp-based PCR, lamp-based technology, offers the same power as PCR but faster and lower cost. We supported also the development of the first COVID-19 kit in the country, locally developed and now available in the market. And we have supported also a virtual reality technology for the screening of autism and other cognitive disorders. So this VR technology is actually 12 times faster than your traditional screening, which takes anywhere from up to 2.5 years, and the cost is significantly lower. So yung traditional screening for autism may cost a patient up to 20,000, 5 to 20,000. But this VR technology, for one screening, it will only cost you 2,000 pesos. And then we have also biomedical devices which we have supported. The Access Knee Revision System is the first access knee system that is based on a Filipino patient. Most of those available in the market is actually based on Caucasians. So pwede siyang maluwag sa Pilipino. So when you avail this access knee system through DOH hospitals, because it has been funded by the government, it is actually of lower cost or subsidized. And then an e-steth, and also locally fabricated products. So it is significantly cheaper to produce than your traditional stet, which can cost anywhere from 30 to 40,000. And the Tayo project, this is a robotic rehabilitation system for those with lower extremity problems, so those na nagka-stroke, na aksidente. And it will allow different types of exercises and also qualitatively monitor the progress of the patients. So apart from the straightforward health benefits of health research, essentially we want more R&D, and we want more support for R&D because one, it enables setting up and upgrading of labs and facilities, which we know will also benefit our students. It supports job generation. For example, even sa level ng plant collection, you can tap people who are knowledgeable of the environment and help you collect. So this for them translates to livelihood. Of course, it enables training of human S&T workforce. It boosts local industry competitiveness because it can result to improvement of standards. And last but not the least, it also enables wealth creation and biodiversity protection. So as shared by one of our colleagues kahapon from PTRI, as you improve the technology that bamboo is subjected to, yung value nila nag-i-increase also. And when this is commercialized, it can translate to better management and protection for this type of crops. So if you are interested to avail funding from PCHRD, just check our website, www.pchrd.dost.gov. Our criteria and eligibility requirements are stated there. Watch out for announcement of our calls at our Facebook page. And submit your proposals through the DOST DPMIS during the designated call period. So So key takeaways from this, first is we have a national and regional health agendas that guides our investment to ensure that the projects that we are funding are really what is needed by the people. Second, health R&D is a critical element in addressing pressing health concerns in the country and ensuring solutions are evidence and solution-based. And last but not the least, we really need to increase support for health R&D and also increase interest from people to take this path even if it is difficult because there is cross-cutting social and economic impacts. So with that, maraming salamat po. If you have questions for me, my email is flashed on the screen. And please feel free to connect with PCHRD through our social media and feedback pages. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bulao. Our exploration of science, technology, and innovation continues as we turn our focus to vital aspects of our lives, the food, nutrition, and health. The next presenter is a graduate of BS Chemistry from the University of San Agustin, an MS graduate of Biochemistry from the University of the Philippines College of Medicine, a PhD in Chemistry from the University of Cincinnati, Ohio, USA, specialized in physical biochemistry and analytical chemistry. She is a UNESCO Research Fellow at the Tokyo Institute of Technology, Tokyo, Japan, Postgraduate Research Fellowship in Cell and Molecular Biology at the University of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, an expert in biopharmaceuticals from laboratory to market at Janssen Pharmaceutical Companies of Johnson & Johnson's. She rose a rank of technical ladder from scientist to senior scientist to principal scientist and ultimately to research fellow with a 10-year period. She is also a certified manager of Johnson & Johnson. A 2023 Severino and Pasco Lectureship Award in Science of PAASE given in Orlando, Florida during its APAMS meeting. Please help me welcome Dr. Annabel P. Villalobos.
Hello. Good morning. Madunggan niyo ako or mabatian niyo ako? I can speak Ilonggo and Bisaya. And also, I would like to congratulate, first of all, the SOC Sergeant for their Science, Technology, and Innovation celebration this week. And also, thank you for inviting NAST, the National Academy of Science and Technology, who ultimately invited me to represent the NAST here. And actually, they selected me, I'm sure, because I am hosted by Central Mindanao University in Muswan, Bukidnon. So it's just so close to Region 12. Can you hear me? Oh, hold on. So you have to get the... How do you do this? How do I do this?
Which one is
NAST. Hindi NAST. Tapos dito na.
Okay. And then you just click this.
Yeah. I'm sorry for that. Okay. So here's my presentation now. And I already thanked the SOC Sergeant. So for today, I will talk about science, technology, and innovation, food and health. Originally, this was with nutrition. But I've seen that the next speaker will be talking about nutrition, so I spared that to the next speaker. Now, whatever I present here, this is my agenda. It's for food. And actually, the first two projects are research projects that I have after I served the Philippines as Balik Scientist and corresponding member of NAST. That is edible ferns. I'm sure many of you know ferns, which I will talk more later on. And rest assured, whatever research I have here in the Philippines, we always think about serving the Filipinos. My point is, I've been in industry for so long a time in Johnson & Johnson. Whatever we do in research, there should be a product that can be serving many people. So I do that also here in the Philippines, including the second one, which is for crop and environment protection. I will talk more about that later. And precision agriculture to boost productivity and profitability. So I will talk more about that. And then my favorite, which is very close to my heart, that's health. That is, I will talk about classic drug development, which I'd been directly involved when I was in Johnson & Johnson in the US. And then now the modern day, which is innovative cancer treatment, which may lead to personalized treatment. So I will show that later. And lastly, precision health. Okay? Now, the first slide here, I'm showing the first project I have with Central Mindanao University with researchers in CMU. Now, this is a photo of the University Fernery, which is the only one in the Philippines. So I invite you to visit CMU and know more about the CMU Fernery. There are about 113 collections of different species of ferns in CMU. And in the first project, I mentioned about the 10 edible ferns that we have collected from the wild and used it as food, naturally. And then, when we collected them from the wild, they are deposited and propagated in the CMU Fernery in small scale, and later on transferred for large-scale propagation in the farm at the foot of Mount Muswan. We are lucky because there is Mount Muswan on campus. And also, for those like Apat-Apat, Marsilia crenata, that needs a big field, which is in the farm in Central Mindanao University. And naturally, we do a lot of analysis in these ferns for food, for protein, minerals, and vitamins, and secondary metabolites, which are antioxidants. So these are packed with high amount of proteins. And we do some, in collaboration with UP Diliman Institute of Chemistry, Dr. Yas Yunyu, we have done some metabolomics of these ferns. And each of these peak was identified and known to be stress relievers. So many of the antioxidants in ferns are stress relievers and can also be used for medicinals. And the product of this project are the IEC material for farmers to use in propagating these ferns if they wanted to adopt it. And then we also have a contest on fern recipes participated by the community of Central Mindanao University, food enthusiasts, restaurant owners. There are a total of 28 dishes that they presented, and we evaluated them. There are 10 winners, one for each fern, and the ultimate product is a book which shows the chemistry of cooking, the chemistry of preparing ferns, that you still have maintained the antioxidants present because it could be for many other medicinal properties. We also do cost and return analysis every time. So it's not just like producing a product. You have to see to it that whoever is adopting it will have profit, can profit out of it. It's not just preparing it for the heck of doing it, but you need to do profit. So cost and return analysis is there. There's always a business regimen in that. And we identified adapters. This is in Lake Balinsa, Sayao, which is a tourist destination. And in this case, this is in Negros Oriental, in collaboration with the late national scientist Angel Alcala and Dr. Eli Alcala. And we gave lectures regarding the results of we helped them establish their fernery. The fernery is just outside the cafeteria, which is being used by tourists. So it's just like from farm, from garden to table. And you can see there our collaborators. And this is for additional income. I don't know what's here. So we also have a fern cooking contest there because they already have ferns all over. Now, before I forget, the goal of this fernery in Lake Balinsasayao is to protect the forest of Lake Balinsasayao. It has to be protected and conserved in its biodiversity. So instead of getting ferns from the forest and used in the cafeteria, they have their own fern garden outside the cafeteria. And also for tourists to see the fern garden. So they become interested. The farmers who are adopting this are very well versed in the scientific name of the fern, so which is very impressive. And the other perspective, so for this, since Lake Balinsasayao is a tourist destination, until now the garden is still there. The farmers are really profiting a lot because it's a tourist destination. Now, I would like to take up here the other perspectives on ferns. They can be antiviral for medicinal. This is based on literature review, and this is something that I really wanted to emphasize. Whenever we develop drugs or medicinals for Filipinos, it's better to also look at the unmet medical needs of Filipinos. Not just like antimicrobial or like that and so on. There are many in the market that are cheaper and so on. So what I wanted to emphasize here are the neuroprotection property of ferns. There are ferns that are really neuroprotective. That is, with Alzheimer's being high incidence right now, and also dementia. So it has anti-aging properties, antimicrobial, and it can be for functional foods. We continue to do some more research and so on this one, which I wouldn't show you at this time. Now, I wanted to jump to the next project that is really good for agriculture, which is in our area. That is, this was a call from Picard, and we answered to that call to develop natural fungicides from indigenous plants. Now, we choose the fungicide for tomatoes and lettuce because Bukidnon is the food basket, especially for vegetables of Mindanao. So, the natural fungicide, this is for crop protection and to curb pollution contributed from using synthetic pesticides. So this is, we collected indigenous plants. This is based on extensive literature research and also from FGDs with indigenous people. We selected 10 plants that have potential fungicide properties. And we collected them from all over Mindanao, as like you can see in that map. And then for me, I wanted to show you some of our mountain expeditions in Mount Apo. I'd been in that expedition, Mount Hamigitan, they are all in Mindanao, and we collected that plant there. So, now being from industry, I wanted to see to it that whatever plant we use as natural fungicide, it has to work in the field. If it doesn't work in the field, there is no value. You can be very good in the lab, you have all those results like that and so on. If it doesn't work in the field, that's it. So, that's the first thing we did. And we know there are 2 plants that have really high potential to be fungicide for tomatoes and lettuce. And one is a grass, Polygala. The other one is Tasmania piperita, which is a shrub. Naturally, for biomass requirement for raw materials, we had a shrub, Tasmania piperita, the one at the right. And we did a lot of formulation development. And then safety to humans, it has to be safe to humans because the synthetic pesticides are not safe to humans. We have to see to it that the natural fungicide we have is safe to humans. And then we have stability. It has to be stable because after you spray it, it may just be destroyed. So it cannot work as a fungicide for a long period of time. And we have that there. And we did field verification in large scale. At the foot of Mount Kitanglad, the farmer adopters are the Talaandigs, indigenous people, Talaandigs, and also for the foot of Mount Apo, these are the Manumbo tribe, as you can see from there. So this is field verified. We did a lot of cost of goods and return on investment calculations. because the farmers had to profit from it rather than to just be the same as whatever they are using right now. So there's a big difference there. It's about 7 times cheaper compared to what they are currently using in the field. Okay? Now, we did also some metabolomics on this Tasmania piperita extract, which is the active ingredient for the natural fungicide. And this is the result. There are some very good candidates here to be the active ingredient for the fungicide. And some of these metabolites, secondary metabolites, can be very good for medicine because actually, the Talaandigs are using this for their go-to medicine for whatever type of indication they have whenever they feel bad. They said including cancer. So, but that is next to the natural fungicide. So we did some computer in silico modeling, and we have verified that the active ingredient binds to the enzyme that causes the disease in these vegetables. So this was presented many times, and this project won first place in the National Science Award, Research and Development category. It's a national award. And at the same time, this was published in the Philippine Journal of Science in 2021. And we have the packaged product. It's efficacious, safe, specific, cheap, environment friendly, locally available, stable, and field verified. And the cost of goods is 7 times lower than whatever is being used by the same farmers. So that's very impressive in a way. And we have a business pitch on this. Jollibee is interested, and also we are talking with a big farm in Bukidnon, actually. Now, fast forward on the natural fungicide, so it doesn't stop there. A precision agriculture to boost productivity and profitability. So, let me define precision agriculture as shown there. Now, since we already identified the active compound in Tasmania piperita extract with a natural fungicide property, we can, a microorganism can be engineered to consistently produce the active product, the active ingredient, and applied to crops, vegetables, and fruits to extend it there in precise amounts as the plant requires. So that's what precision agriculture is. Now for precision agriculture, you can also do it, there's a crop sensing on the ground and in the sky. That's where the satellite is. So the lower the satellite in a way that they can really see the farm, if there's a start of infestation, they can see it, so they can prevent it right away. So in Region 12, banana is the #1 product that you have, followed by pineapple and so on. So if ever there is infestation, that can be seen right away from the sky. And that can be by the PhilSA, Philippine Space Agency. That's what the main focus of PhilSA for agriculture purposes. So you can see that there. And the other one is, can microbes replace synthetic fertilizer? So not only natural fungicide, you can also deal with a fertilizer. In this case, so you'll take a look at nitrogen-fixing bacteria, you can engineer the gene of the microorganism in a way that they can fix the nitrogen more efficiently and can be used in the soil, but more efficiently in the plant, as included here. Now, let me jump at health. That is really my favorite because that is really my expertise. So, it's a long and winding road for drug development. It takes years and so on, but you have to be smart enough in order to get it from drug discovery to development. And what is the secret there? That means that once you are still in drug discovery, in order to shorten it, you need to have business development, marketing, you involve marketing people like that and so on, because in business development, which is key, you have to look at cost of goods, you have to look at return on investment, and then also you have to ask yourself, if this product is approved later on, will there still be a market? So that's being done there. Now, in this case, this is the model which is being used by many established pharmaceutical companies. And this is one wherein the aim is to have drugs for specific indications for all patients, for mass. Now, the strategy is for modern ways of treating cancer. Cancer is very common nowadays, even in the Philippines. So many are trying to have cure for cancer. One of those is nanotechnology, that is thinking big, working small, nanomedicine. Now, I think you remember the COVID-19 vaccine, mRNA, wherein you have the lipid nanoparticles. So that is so popular, and that's the same way in here. That means that you can deliver drug in small, tiny particles, as you can see there, from 1 to 900 nm in length. So that is easy to do, and it will have less side effects. The other one is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, so 5 to 10 years time with this approach, medicine will be more personalized. That is because the doctor will incorporate information about the individual, about the tumor, their immune system, their genetics, and so on, and then provide individualized treatment. And this will lessen the cost and also lessen the cost of drug discovery. Now, the other one is iKnife, intelligent knife. This is for surgeon. They're already in the operating room, and the surgeon will slice a tissue, and then because it's run by electricity, so it will produce a smoke. The smoke is captured by an instrument which is LCMS, MSMS. It's very sensitive, and those peaks that are seen there, just like in metabolomics, will be identified by algorithm. If it is like a cancer compound, the doctors know that they are slicing the tumor that is with cancer. So it doesn't need any biopsy anymore. So the surgeon can act on it right away. And he can also identify the healthy tissues from those that are cancer. So it will shorten and prevent resurgery, because the doctors go back later on if it is not taken out. So it decreases the rate of repeat surgery. The other one is CRISPR. There were 2 women who got a Nobel Prize winner in 2020 because of this one. Now, in this case, the cancer patient, the T cells are extracted from the patient, taken out of the patient, and then corrected the defective gene, and then corrected it, put it back to the patient, and that type of gene will bind to the cancer cells, the cancer gene, and will destroy the cancer gene and will prevent that one. So this is really very precise and very promising. There are many companies right now who are on phase 2 on that one. So precision health, the goal here is to protect your health by measuring these factors and acting on them. You have the genes, behaviors, like that, and so on. So interventions can be tailored to you rather than the whole population. So it's more individualized. And these are prediction and prevention of some diseases. You can have family health history. So whenever there's a family health history of breast cancer, mammogram is being required early in your age, and many others, personal devices, like in your smartphone, you have a reminder that you have to take your medication, like that, and so on. And there are many in this one. Newborn screening, which is already happening in the Philippines, actually. Medical options that can prevent disease, and so on. There are so many technology that can be used right now, including biomarker for Tourette syndrome, and many other things. So, in summary, research should always be aimed with beneficiaries in mind. They have to put that in our mind. Concentrate with upstairs, not with downstairs. Because many of the scientists just think and so on, and then publish their data, and that's it. Now, that is not good for Filipinos. Then food is not all rice. The price of rice right now is going up. You have to think of that. But to utilize nutrient-packed, edible indigenous ferns and many other food. Explore precision agriculture to boost productivity and profitability. New technologies leading to better and less side effects of treating cancer, someday with a more personalized treatment regimen. And shorter ways of drug discovery and development because of those new technologies. Thank you for listening, and I would like to acknowledge the following agencies who help us in many of our projects in Central Mindanao University.
All right, there you have it, the very insightful talk of Dr. Annabelle. Thank you so much, Dr. Annabelle. At this juncture, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Kundo M. Pam Jr., the Vice President for Academic Affairs of Cotabato State University. If may katanungan po pala kayo kay Dr. Annabelle, you can directly approach her po. Thank you so much. At this moment in time, we would be hearing about the topic Opti Diets, or the optimization of low-cost, nutritionally adequate diets for Filipino using web-based analysis tool. Our next speaker graduated from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, with an undergraduate degree in chemistry and has completed academic units for his master's degree in the same university. He has been involved in international research collaborations with International Atomic Energy Agency at Austria, Newcastle University at the United Kingdom, and Mahidol University in Thailand, and has received funding and support and grants from the UK Medical Research Council, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Health Organization, and DOST Grants in Aid Program. He currently has 5 publications, and is a co-author of a book and 2 book chapters in the field of food and nutrition. He was appointed as member of the editorial board of the Malaysian Journal of Nutrition, where he also serves as associate editor. Currently, he is the senior science research specialist of the DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute. Please help me welcome Mr. Carl Vincent D. Cabanilla.
Maayong aga kaninyong tanan. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Good morning. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Regional Director Sammy Malawan for inviting DOST FNRI to present our latest tool on nutrition. Alam kong itong ipresent ko ay very relevant kasi ito ay magagamit para makapili tayo ng mga nutritious and low-cost diet dahil nagsisimahalan po ang mga presyo ng bilihin. So, I am pleased to present Opti Diets, a web-based analytical tool developed by DOST FNRI to optimize low-cost, nutritionally adequate diets for Filipinos. As I've said, I am from the Food and Nutrition Research Institute. Hindi po ako nutritionist, I'm a chemist by profession and training. Pero na-involve ako dito sa project na to because our unit is responsible for establishing and updating nutrient standards for the Filipino population. Okay, so some background. Food insecurity is related to poverty. The inability to buy adequate foods compels individuals either not to eat or to skip eating. These situations, when experienced often, could lead to hunger. And when such experiences become recurrent, this could result in undernutrition. While malnutrition is typically blamed on people's lack of knowledge on dietary guidelines and recommendations, in situations where food is available, the main challenge is usually economic. We're talking about the cost or the price of the food. In other words, people may not be able to afford to buy nutritious or balanced diet even if they know what foods to eat. So against this backdrop, we conceptualized this project. There is a need for a mathematical modeling to help calculate the foods which can supply the optimum nutrient recommendations at the least cost, especially for income-strapped households. And we use what we call linear programming. Linear programming is a mathematical modeling technique that aims to find the optimal solution given a set of constraints and parameters. It tries to find the value of a parameter which is represented by a linear function that is either minimized, in this case the food cost, or maximized, in this case the nutrient adequacy, subject to constraints. There exists a couple of linear programming tools used to develop food-based recommendations and calculate nutritious foods at the least cost. However, these use foreign databases and are more complicated to contextualize to the local setting. So developing a local web-based analytical tool will generate a nutritionally adequate meals to help improve access to nutritious foods and improve nutrient intakes of resource-limited Filipino families. The results of the study will also serve as a basis for policies to increase awareness, to increase the availability of nutritious foods in the country. Improving access and choice of nutritious foods among Filipino families, particularly the children, not only boost their own health, growth, and intellectual development, but ultimately powers the economic output of the nation as the children turn into growing adults. So this study aimed to optimize low-cost, nutritionally adequate diets for Filipinos using a web-based analytical tool while taking into account demographic and socioeconomic constraints and parameters. And we named this software OptiDiets. In the development of the software, the first step is data gathering. Data on food items and dishes commonly consumed in the regions was extracted from the dietary survey component of the 2013 National Nutrition Survey. The same survey provided data on the price of food consumed by survey respondents. The software contains a default database of nutrient levels of almost 1,500 food items based from the updated PhilFCT or the Philippine Food Composition Table. The nutritional needs of each individual or group of individuals were based on the PDRI or Philippine Dietary Reference Intakes and are applied as a default value to be achieved and not exceeded by the software. The second step is consultative meeting. A technical consultative meeting was attended by technical consultants composed of experts in food, public health, nutrition, and diet modeling. The experts' insights on the variables that should be considered in the development of the software, the standard diets that will be produced by the tool per region, and the suggestions for the development of the software were considered. The third step is the consultation in the regions. Key informant interviews or KIIs were done among NNC Regional Nutrition Program Coordinators to verify the commonly consumed food items and average portion sizes per region based on the results of the survey. This is to help provide a more in-depth information and understanding on the locally available foods and dietary patterns per region. And the fourth step is the integration and scrubbing of data. So the results of the data gathering and consultative meetings as well as the regional KIIs were integrated together to develop the software. A software engineer was commissioned by the project to develop the software interface. A two-level pre-testing was conducted to assess the overall functionality and interface of the software. And this pre-testing was conducted first among technical users such as programmers and software engineers, then second among potential end users such as nutritionists, program planners, the academe, and researchers. The pre-testing participants were able to evaluate the appearance, comprehensibility, the ease of access or use, and user involvement. So after that pre-testing, the software was revised based on the comments received, and the final software was installed in a dedicated server at FNRI. The software is now ready to generate optimized diets. So some limitations of the study: food costs were based on the 2013 National Nutrition Survey Dietary Survey data. So this study is just a proof of concept that linear programming works to optimize low-cost, nutritionally adequate diets. The utility of software can be adapted to the present context provided that the current prices are available. Computed diets reflect the adequacy of energy and priority nutrients such as protein, iron, calcium, phosphorus, vitamin A, riboflavin, niacin, and vitamin C, and these are the vitamins and minerals that are available in the FCT. So this is how the software looks like. So you need to go to the URL address shown on the screen. It's optidiets.fnri.dost.gov.ph. You have to register to create an account and then log in. And then you are now ready to make an assessment. So you need to choose which region and the place of residence. Is it urban or rural? And then you choose the person that you're going to assess. Is it a child, an infant, or an adult? And then you're going to apply. You have to click the constraints or parameters. And then after that, you are now ready to optimize. And then using the software, we generated a total of 17 regional diets, both urban and rural, for all age and sex groups. So just to show you the preliminary results of our analysis, this graph or this slide shows the daily cost of optimized diets per region. As you can see, the region with the highest cost of nutritious diet is from Cordillera, urban area, and the region with the lowest cost of nutritious diet is from Region 4B or Mimaropa. Food cost may be affected by the food supply and food distribution in the region, which explains the disparity in the food costs. By the way, this is the daily cost of optimized diets for male adults 19 to 29 years old. Now, if we're going to look at the daily cost of optimized diets by age and sex group, so this slide shows the optimized diets for the National Capital Region. We can see that female adolescents age 13 to 15 have the highest cost of nutritious diet. Why? Because they have the highest iron requirements. And we know that iron is mostly sourced from animal foods, animal source foods like meat, poultry, and fish. And they are usually the highest, the more expensive food items. Of course, we also look, since we're here, at the RSTW in Soxargen, we also look at the daily cost of optimized diets at Region 12, urban. No? So medyo naiiba yung trend from the National Capital Region. We saw in NCR that female adolescents have the highest cost of nutritious diets, but for Soxargen, the highest cost comes from male adolescents 16 to 18 years old because this is the age group that has the highest energy requirements. So siguro, yung iron sources po dito, hindi gaano ka-problema kasi I know Soxargen, andito yung General Santos City. So, Jensen is the tuna capital. So, wala po kayong problema dun sa iron sources. Pero hindi naman siya nalalayo doon sa female adolescents na 50 pesos and 23 centavos as compared to the male adolescents na 51 pesos and 73 centavos. So, to give you an idea of what a nutritious diet of male 16 to 18 years old looks like in Soxargen region, urban area. It is composed of rice, Mickey noodles, munggo, malunggay, tuna, brown sugar, coconut oil as cooking oil, and powdered choco drink, with a total cost of 51 pesos and 73 centavos. This is the cost for a day. Please take note that the food cost is based on the 2013 NNS data. So definitely malayo na siya sa actual cost today. So in summary, a software that uses linear programming to optimize the least cost nutritional adequate diets for Filipinos is now functional. Optimized diets in urban areas of the Cordillera is the costliest, while diet in urban areas of Region 4B is the least expensive among all regions based on preliminary analysis. The optimized diet of female adolescents 13 to 15 years old entails the highest cost among all age and sex groups. Our recommendations: we need to design interventions to address the high cost of nutritious diets in certain geographic areas. We also need to prioritize the nutritional needs of adolescents because, as we have seen in our data, these are the age group that have the most expensive diet among all age groups. As a next phase of the project, we are planning to conduct a visualization of generated diets in order to see what the nutritious diet looks like, what are the recipes that can be developed out of the generated diets generated by the software. And also to conduct intervention modeling because we want to know what would be the impact of various nutrition programs and interventions on the cost of the diet. And lastly, to develop food-based recommendations for the various population groups, as we are now in the process of updating and revising our nutritional guidelines for Filipinos. Towards this end, I'd like to acknowledge our funding agency, the DOST SPD Special Projects Division, and this project was monitored by DOST PCHRD, our project team led by yours truly, and project advisors, Dr. Mario Capansana, our former director, our technical consultants, the participants of the pre-testing from the DSWD, from PIDS, Philippine Institute for Development Studies, PSA, Philippine Statistics Authority, and NCE, National Nutrition Council, and from the academe. Now, this is just the beta version. So we are in the process of enhancing the user interface as well as the other functionalities and features of the software. So hindi po siya available through mobile phone. Actually, you can access it pero hindi siya ganun kaganda as compared to the desktop version. But rest assured that it works, no? And it's intended for researchers and program planners. I invite you to try using the software for those who are interested in knowing the least cost nutrition adequate diets in your own regions. So I would like to end my presentation with the final words from Dr. Arif Hussein, the Chief Economist of the World Food Program. High food prices are hunger's new best friend. So if we are going to solve the high cost of nutritious diets, we are one step closer also to solving hunger and malnutrition. And with that, I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cabanilla. Again, if you have questions to our speaker, pwede po tayong pumunta sa kanilang respective areas po. Now, celebrating the fusion of AI and science communication, the next presenter will discuss to us a topic on unlocking the power of AI tools in science communication. He is a senior science research specialist at the Department of Science and Technology, Technology Information Institute, or DOST STII. He has been with the DOST for more than 15 years, contributing to several notable projects, including the development and implementation of the Starbooks project. He earned his degree in Bachelor of Science in Information Technology from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines and later pursued his Master's in Information Technology at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. In recognition of his outstanding contribution to public service, he was honored as one of the 5 esteemed awardees of the prestigious 2022 Presidential Lingkod Bayan Award for the Starbooks project. He is currently the head of STII Management Information System and Planning Section, handling network infrastructure, technical support, system development, and cybersecurity. Please help me welcome Mr. Alfon B. Narquita. Sir.
Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Actually, very good na maraming students at inalign ko kasi yung presentation ko para sa inyong mga students. No? Guys, meron akong isi-share sa inyo mga students. Meron akong isi-share sa inyo na something useful sa pag-aaral ninyo. Makatulong ito sa inyo. You may want to take notes. Although ang discussion ko is more on science communication, pero marami dito sa madadaanan kung topic is also applicable sa inyo. Sige. By the way, yung office namin, Science Technology Information Institute, to sum it up, ang office namin is a science library. Marami kaming collection doon ng science materials. And kung makakadaan kayo doon sa booth ni Starbooks, pwede kayo mag-take ng science quiz doon. And aside from science library, si STII is also concerned doon sa science communication. Bali, ang role namin as science communicators is i-bridge itong gap na ito, between yung science papunta sa inyo sa public. Paano namin siya ma-deliver sa inyo sa language na madaling maintindihan. Pero maraming maraming challenges itong science communication. Unang-una, complex ang science. Minsan siya, deterrent pag narinig mo agad science and math, parang ayaw mo na kagad, natatakot ka na kagad. So challenge siya na i-level down sa sa mga audience natin. And ito, isang challenge yan. Diverse ang ating mga audience. Merong mga student, may mga researcher, may mga legislators. Iba-ibang klase ang kailangang messaging na pagdalhan natin ng isang technology, kunyari. And research intensive ito para ma-communicate ko sa inyo sa layman's term ang mga technologies at science concept, dapat mag-aral din ako. Kailangan ko mag-research din, ano. I mean, so yung mga bagay na yon, sa time nung wala pang Google, is medyo mahirap-hirap. Kaya kung mapapansin niyo yung STII, Science Library, tapos Science Communication. Kasi para makagawa kami ng mga information na malalatag namin sa inyo, is kailangan naming mag-research. Nandun yung material sa amin, ano. Pero iba na kasi ang panahon ngayon, ano, masyadong madali na ang mga bagay-bagay pagdating sa pagsusulat, ano. Yung mga science communicators natin, subject din sila sa ganitong stress. Magsusulat ako kunyari ng isang article para ipaliwanag sa inyo ang salt water lamp. Kailangan kong mag-aral, ano. Minsan, mental block talaga. Hindi mahirap mag-umpisa ng pagsusulat, ano. Kasi yung iisipin mo yung structure, paano mo siya ilalatag na organize siya, no? And focus, minsan maraming distraction, and lalo na yung time. Kailangan ko itong article na to bukas. Deadline tomorrow, ano, guys. Pero good thing, may artificial intelligence na. May mga tools tayong pwedeng magamit para mapabilis yung proseso na yun, ano. Ituturo ko sa inyo yung mga tools, guys. Pero teka, tignan natin to. Ayan. Tignan natin tong article na to. Nilagay ko yung pangalan ko doon kasi ginawa ko yan, article na yan. Sinulat ko yung article na yan, ano. Pero mind you, guys, ang aking linya ng trabaho ay IT, ano. So ang aking expertise ay nasa system development, network, cybersecurity. Hindi ako marunong magsulat ng mga ganitong bagay. Hirap ako sa mga ganitong bagay, ano. Lalo na kung lalagyan ko pa ng structure yan or gawin kong creative. No? Lalo na, i-laymanize ko sa level ng students, ano. Kailangan kong pag-aralan ang mga topics na to. More so, kailangan ko siyang isulat sa isang medium na interested kayo, ano. Pansin nyo tong article ko na to, kasama yung picture, is maniniwala ba kayong ginawa ko lang ito under 5 minutes? Less than 5 minutes ko lang ginawa itong article na to, no? After kong sabihin sa inyo lahat ng mga hindi ko kayang gawin, mga hindi ko kayang gawin sa pagsusulat, 5 minutes ko lang ginawa ang article na to, no? Ituturo ko sa inyo kung paano ko siya ginawa. Pero habang tinuturo ko sa inyo yung mga tools, siguro i-observe nyo rin, or ano ba, yun, i-observe nyo yung mga dangers, no, na kinukumit ko dito sa paggawa nito. Because medyo malaking issue ito pagdating sa academe, lalo na siguro sa news. Yung accuracy ng news and articles is maraming fake news, no? Tignan ninyo. Sige. Isa sa mga tools na pwede at readily available sa atin as consumers is itong mga natural language processors. Sigurado ako na-encounter nyo na to sa mga buhay ninyo, ano? Chatbots, machine translation, text analysis, mga virtual assistant, yung mga iPhone ninyo, sila Alexa at Siri, no? Mga AI sila. And search engines, no? Ito ang pinaka-common, search engines. Pag nagpunta ka sa website ng Sky Cable, tapos may problema ka, hindi na agent yung sumasagot sa'yo, chatbot na yung sumasagot sa'yo, no? Na-identify nila kung ano yung problem mo, nasosolve nila yung problem mo. So natural language processor, sa time natin ngayon, existing sa time natin ngayon yung dalawang pinaka-powerful na language processors. Libre ito, guys. Punta kayo dyan sa ChatGPT at saka yung Bard, ano? Pakita ko lang yung data nila ni ChatGPT. Nung nagumpisa sila noong 2018, 117 million parameters yan. Ibig sabihin, pag may binigay akong problema kay ChatGPT, may 117 million ways siya para intindihin at saka bigyan ng solusyon yung problemang ibinigay mo. And going to 2020, from 117 million, naging 175 billion parameters yan. Ibig sabihin, ganun kalaki yung power. Power na kaya niyang ibigay sa'yo. And tingnan nyo ito, hanggang 2022, ChatGPT 3.5 ay libre. Yung GPT-4 ay may bayad na. Pero tayo as normal individuals, yung 3.5 is enough na sa atin mabubuhay na tayo. Marami na tayong magagawa sa 3.5. Pansin nyo tong ChatGPT-2 noong 2019, nandito yung, na-realize nila yung danger ng ginawa nilang tool. Kasi hininto nila tong ChatGPT-2 dahil proliferant sa fake news at wrong information yung AI. Ibig sabihin, nag-iimbento siya ng nag-iimbento siya ng data, nag-iimbento siya ng impormasyon. Kaya in-scrap nila yon. Ginawa nila yung version 3 hanggang sa ma-improve siya, version 3.5. By the way, ang data ni 3.5 ay hanggang September 2021 lang. So lahat ng event na nangyari pagkatapos ng September 2021, hindi alam ni ChatGPT. Although mag-iimbento siya ng impormasyon about that event. Guys, mamaya papakita ko sa inyo. Si Google, medyo nahuli siya sa karerang ito. 2018 pa si ChatGPT tumatakbo. Si Google ngayong taon lang, nilaunch nila February, itong Bard. Halos kaparehas ng ginagawa ni ChatGPT. Pero tingnan ninyo itong data na ito na pinapagamit sa atin ni Google Bard. Luma yung information ko kasi di ko makita talaga yung pinaka-recent. Pero it gives you the idea. 2014 estimated 49.5 billion documents. Paano nila nakukuha yung documents na yan? And 2019 estimated 1.5 trillion web pages. Kung meron kasi kayong website, si Google, meron siyang mga crawlers. So, nakatutok yung mga crawlers niyan sa website ninyo. And hinuhugot ni crawler lahat ng isinulat nyong information dun sa website nyo. And nilalagay niya sa isang database yun. Ginagawa niyang data niyang sarili. Kaya pag nag-Google search kayo, kasama sa mga result na lumalabas yun. So, mas maraming static information, mas searchable kayo sa Google. Sige. Ipinapakita ko lang dito yung laki ng data na pinapagamit sa atin ng dalawang AI programs na to. Napansin nyo kanina doon sa article ko, itong photo na to, kasi sabi ko less than 5 minutes ko lang siyang ginawa, is hindi na ako naghanap ng photo. Ang ginawa ko, nag-generate ako ng photo. So imagine nyo yung danger doon. Nag-generate ako ng photo So ibig sabihin, hindi tunay itong photo ko. Is hindi siya existing sa mundo. Pinagawa ko siya sa AI. Ayan yung mga tools na ginamit ko, Getty Images, Remove BG, pixelr.com. Si ChatGPT, meron siya yung DALL-E. So pwede nyo i-check yun. Nag-generate din ng images yun. Ito yung pixelr.com. Inutusan ko lang si pixelr.com to create a collage of formulas and ingredients for making a saltwater lamp. Hindi ako naghanap ng photo. Sabi ko kay Pixelr, gumawa siya ng photo. Guys, pag may assignment kayo, pinahanap kayo ng mga anyong tubig. Pa-generate nyo dito. Ayan, nag-generate naman siya. So, ginamit ko na yung photo na yan. Hindi na rin ako naghanap ng photo ng isang science communicator. Tinype ko lang sa Getty Images. Yun, yung babaeng naka-red doon. Yan yung napili kong photo. At syempre, gagamitin ko sa presentation ko yan. Gusto kong tanggalin yung background. Meron ding AI for removing background, guys. And napakasimple niyang gamitin. Upload ko lang yung photo doon sa website na yon, siya na bahala magtanggal ng background. No skills sa Photoshop needed. Hindi ko kailangan ng skill sa Photoshop. Napapansin niyo ba yung mga nakasulat na text over sa picture? Mga watermarks? Meron ding AI na pang-remove ng watermarks, guys. And pagdating dun sa ChatGPT, tsaka sa Bard, nung isinulat ko yung article, sinulat ko, is ito lang ang instruction na binigay ko kay GPT tsaka kay Bard. Gumawa lang ng 100-word article about salt lamp. Ito yung mapuproduce niyan. Pag binasa mo yan, feeling mo tama na. It sounds correct na eh. Pwede nang copy-paste, Pero sabi nung risk manager namin, copy shamelessly but accredit sources. Ayan yun. Diba, mukhang tama yung sinulat ni ChatGPT. Same thing din yung sinulat ni Bard. Ngayon, nasa akin na lang kung paano ko siya i-rearrange. Pero kahit yung parte na yun ng pag-rearrange, pwede mo ipagawa sa kanila eh. Prompt lang talaga ang prompt lang yung labanan. Paano mo iutos sa kanya yun, And makirelate niyan. Familiar ba kayo sa photo na ito? Sa Boris Eldagsen, Sudomnisha, the electrician. Ito si Boris, sumali siya sa contest na to, Sony Photography Awards. Nanalo to si Boris. Nanalo si Boris ng first place. Tapos nung time na aakyat na siya dito sa stage para tanggapin yung award niya, guys, inayawan niya yung award. Sabi niya, ayoko, hindi ako deserving sa award na yan. Kasi yung photo na isinali ko ay hindi siya shot photo. Is AI generated siya. Ito yung tool na ginamit niya. Midjourney. Pwede nyo checkin tong Midjourney, guys. At para ipakita ko sa inyo kung gaano ka ridiculously realistic ang mga photo dito sa Midjourney. Kilala nyo ba itong mga nasa photo na ito? Si Pope Francis lang ang pinili ko kasi mas sikat siya eh. Si Pope Francis nakikipag-jamming sa concert kay tong banda na to, si Rammstein, Very unlikely na magsama tong dalawang to dahil magkalaban. Medyo holy si Pope, nasa Jedi si Pope dark side to si So unlikely na magsama sila. Pero may photo na ganito, Kung hindi ko ba sinabi sa inyo na AI generated ito, is maniniwala ba kayong nangyari itong event na to? Most likely, Marami akong nakitang photo ni St. Francis na nasa club siya, with bling-blings and rings, Gangster. Gangster si Pope. Pero tinignan ko sa Midjourney yun, mga generated sa Midjourney. Nakikita niyo yung danger, guys. So, gamitin natin ito sa perspective ng science communication. Pwede akong magsulat ng article na hindi ko naman alam yung topic na yon. At pwede akong mag-imbento ng photos na hindi naman existing. Mga events na hindi naman existing. So, nandun yung danger ng fake news at saka distorted information. UP Diliman, naglabas sila ng ganitong statement. Apparently, may mga estudyante na ginamit yung mga similar tools na pinakita ko sa inyo sa research. Research thesis, isinubmit personal work. Hindi inaccredit ang sources. Binerify ang mga gawa nila napatunayan na written by AI. Tinuturo ko sa inyo, guys, mga students, yung mga tools na panggawa. Pero tinuturo din namin sa mga teachers ninyo yung mga tools na pan-check. Napatunayan, nagawa ng AI. Pero hindi naman kinokondemn ni UP yung AI kasi magandang tool talaga siya para magamit ng student sa pag-aaral. No? Pero syempre, napansin ko yan pagka naging dependent ka sa mga tool na to, parang medyo parang ayaw mo na mag-isip. Tanong ka na lang ng tanong dito sa mga tool na to. No? Limitations ng mga tool na yon is, syempre, lack ng common sense sa knowledge. Kung ano lang yung ibinigay mo sa kanila at kung ano lang yung nasa database nila, yun lang ang ibabalik nila sa inyo. And yung understanding ng context, hindi naman nila masyadong naintindihan yun. Lalo na pagka hindi tama yung model, no? Model ng pag-analyze. Pero ang nakakatakot kasi, nag-i-improve sila nag-i-improve sila over time. Kaya pagaling sila ng pagaling. Nakita niyo yung history kanina ni GPT-1 hanggang naging GPT-4 siya. Biased language ngayon, dahil English pa lang siya, di pa siya natin nakakausap sa Tagalog. Pero si GPT tsaka si Bart tinaray ko sa Tagalog. Nagpagawa ako sa kanya ng gumawa ka ng artikulo tungkol sa naintindihan niya. No? And factual information, ito ang pinaka-importante at delikado sa lahat. Pwede ako maglabas ng article na pick up ni CNN. Tapos ChatGPT pala yung ginamit. Tapos ang informasyon doon ay imbento. No? Ito ang delikado doon. So tayo as mga science communicator or kayo, mga students or mga researchers na gagawa kayo ng, magsusulat kayo ng mga papers ninyo, is maging responsable tayo sa paggamit ng AI. I-verify ang facts. Number 1 yan. Pagka nag-generate ako ng context sa GPT at binigyan niya ako ng figures, nire-research ko yung figures na yon kung totoo ba yung figures na yon. Kasi maganda naman ang insight ng AI. Kaya lang, kailangan mong alamin. Baka i-report mo yung figure na yon, mali pala yun. And yes, review yung output. Ang pinaka-importante rin dito is pag isinabmit ko tong papel ko na ito sa teacher or sa isang approving body, does it sound like me? Ako ba yun? Tunog ako ba yung paper na yun? Minsan kasi napakagaling pero pag kinausap mo ako na English, stuttering ako. Stuttering ako, mali-mali grammar ko. And ito, pinaka-importanting advice ko sa inyo, kung talagang gusto nyong gamitin yung informasyon na yun, pwede nyo naman daw kopyahin, pero i-cite ang mga sources. Dito kasi nag-uumpisa ang mga plagiarism, tapos yung issue sa UP, dito nagsimula yun. Hindi nila nilagay ang sources nila. Meron akong isang video, check natin kung magpi-play.
Stella Balan is the first AIC na nagsusulat ng tula sa Filipino. Pinangalan ko siya sa nanay ko na ang pangalan din ay Stella Badal. Parang, in a way, tribute na rin para sa kanya. Dahil isa akong programmer at isa rin akong manunulat, gusto kong pagsamahin yung dalawang interest na to sa isang proyekto at gusto kong, yung proyekto na to ay gusto kong makakita ng isang machine na gumagawa ng sarili niyang tula. So, kung paano natuto si Stella na tumula, naghanda ako ng corpus na aaralin niya. So, mostly galing to sa internet. Yung mga tula na nasa libro dito, in-encode ko para masama ko yun sa training data. So, I trained her using the neural network engine that I got. Basically, she generates poetry on per character level. So, basically, inaaral niya yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga letters. And the way she generates text is she generates one letter, one character at a time. Surprisingly, through this method, sobrang lucid at sobrang poetic ng mga text na nag-generate. Yung katawan, pinagawa namin dito sa may carpentero na malapit dito. Pero yung pagpintura, kami na yung gumawa nun. Yung design ng robot pala ay ginawa ng isa kong kaibigan si Apple Santa Maria. So siya yung nag-sketch. Hindi ko rin alam kung ano yung gusto kong gawin dito. Pero gusto ko lang makita nila na na nasa panahon na tayo na may isang makina na nakayang gumawa ng tula sa pamamagitan ng sarili niya lamang.
Oo. Narinig nyo ba yun? Medyo di ko naintindihan dito eh. No? Friend ko to si Marlon nung high school. No? Tapos nagulat na lang ako isang araw, napanood ko siya sa CNN. Meron pala siyang project sa UP na mayroon siyang AI robot doon. 2018 ito guys, wala pang chat GPT nung ginawa ni Marlon sa UP ito. Pipicturan ka nung robot, tatayo ka sa harap ng robot, picturan ka, and then magpiprint siya ng tula. Magpiprint siya ng tula about you. Ano? So, kung medyo hindi maganda gising mo nung araw na yun, baka hindi natin alam yung output. Ano? Pero isa lang ang sinasabi dito ni Marlon, kagaya rin ang sinasabi ni Boris L. Dagsen, handa na ba yung mundo? Handa na ba yung mundo para sa AI information? Ano? At handa na rin ba tayo na isegregate, alamin at tuklasin kung alin ang totoo tsaka hindi sa mga impormasyon. Ano? Napakadali ng AI gamitin at kahit sino na walang credentials, kagaya ko, walang credentials sa pagsusulat, kaya ko magsulat ngayon ng mga ganitong bagay. Ano? Now, it's up to you guys to discern kung ano yung tama. Tsaka ano. Always check, always fact check po. Sige po, and doon ko na po siguro tapusin ang aking presentation. Okay, maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Sir Narkita. Now, to deliver to us the topic about the future of human well-being in a tech-saturated world, our speaker obtained a degree of Bachelor of Science in Agriculture Engineering at the University of Southeastern Philippines, Tagum City in April 2012 and a Master of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering at Ateneo de Davao University last April 2019. He was an instructor at Caraga State University, Ampayon, Butuan City from June 2013 to 2018, to where he was designated as technical experts for patent search and drafting in the Innovation and Technology Support Office. He has various certifications from World Intellectual Property Organization and conducted training related to intellectual property, such as Introduction to Intellectual Property, Fundamentals of Patents, Patent Search, Patent Drafting, copyrights, and plagiarism. He has several applied and approved patents and authored scientific papers published in a reputable journal. Currently, he is a special science teacher 4 of the Philippine Science High School, Soxergen Regional Campus. Let's give big hands to Engineer Jeffrey M. Bagasbas.
Hello, good morning! Alright, parang inaantok na yung iba. So, to start our morning session or my topic for this morning, so my topic is all about the future of human well-being in a tech-saturated world. Okay, let's define first, no, ano ba yung human well-being. So, hindi lang pala siya limited to our emotional or health issues, but together with the recreation and even the personal safety of the individual. So, we are talking now for the preview. Ano ba yung nasa future regarding to human well-being, and then ano yung mga advancement in terms of technology applied to this area. But before that, let's look into the industrial revolutions, and I wanted to highlight the timeline for the first industrial revolution, second to fifth industrial revolution. Kung titingnan natin, from first to second and third, it took about 100 years before nagkaroon ng Industrial Revolution. In Industrial Revolution, ito yung nagiging disruptive sa conventional way ng processing or yung how people work from the previous industry to the next revolution, starting with the creation of steam engine sa first industrial revolution, to second industrial revolution, the mass production, and the incorporation of electricity. Wherein sa ngayon, nandito pa tayo sa fourth industrial revolution, wherein approaching na naman yung fifth. So kung titingnan natin, pabilis ng pabilis, from fourth industrial revolution, naging 10 years na lang yung span. So ganun kabilis or ka-rapid yung changes ngayon in terms of technological advancement. Now, in terms of my topic, I will be highlighting some of the applications for the fourth industrial revolution to the human well-being. So, it's more on the AI and the 3D printing processes. So, 3D printing, I know most of you are very familiar kasi mayroon tayong sample dyan sa likod. But if you're thinking, that 3D printing is only limited sa paggawa ng mga replicas, sa paggawa ng mga bagay na nakita natin dyan. So that's a very narrow na understanding with respect to the application ng 3D printing. So 3D printing layer by layer, so it's a part of additive manufacturing. So layer by layer, ginagawa yung certain project. So naging disruptive si 3D printing kasi it is what we call mass customization. So for example, sa application ng paggawa ng mga prosthetics, kung gawin natin siyang mass production yung mga prosthetics, say for example, yung binibenta natin na mga prosthetics is designed for a 6-footer na mga tao, So what will happen if yung gagamit is mga medyo may kaliitan pala, the 5-footer na mga tao? So there's a mismatch. So malaking tao, and then yung gagamit maliit. So yun yung malaking mismatch doon. Wherein pagdating sa 3D printing, mas customized. So kung ano yung size na gusto mo, i-print natin, gawa ng prosthetics, and so on. So, mabilis. Pagdating naman sa mga personalized medical devices, so, hindi na kailangan, na mag-import pa or something, hanapin kung saan yung mga medical devices kasi with the 3D printing, pwede na siyang gawin anytime. So, paano ito? Ito yung kasama ng 3D printing. Kasi if we are asking ourselves, paano ba nakukuha yung definite na size ng isang prosthetic leg? So, kasama ng 3D printing is the 3D scanners. So, using the 3D scanners, ini-scan yung size ng isang tao and then generate through the computer-aided softwares para gawa ng 3D model. So from this 3D model, tina-translate into stereolithography file and then ginagawang G-code to get the mga coordinates para pagkatapos pwede na siyang i-print. Okay, another application ng 3D printing sa medical, we have this 3D printed kidneys. Sa ngayon, yung pinaka-successful pa na 3D printed organ is the gallbladder. Yun pa yung naging successful. But some scientists and researchers go into the 3D printed kidneys. So imagine millions of people around the globe naghahanap ng or naghihintay na magkaroon ng makuha yung kidney transplant. But hindi ganon din kadali because the compatibility issues kailangan i-consider. So that's why yung mga donors, ay kamag-anak or kapatid ng magre-receive ng kidney. However, sa pag 3D print ng kidney, so yung ginagamit na instead of yung makita natin sa likod, instead na filament, yung plastic na mini-melt, at saka layer by layer, ginagawang object, dito, kukuha ng tissue sa katawan ng tao, yun yung eco-culture, at saka siya yung gagawing parang filament niya na layer by layer, gagawin yung kidney. So, according to experts, it will be around 30 to 50 years, no, bago maging available na ito sa mga hospitals. So, yun. May medyo kailangan pa ng mga trials to make sure no, na maging successful. And aside from this kidney, we have also some transplant. Okay, na-miss yung isa, no? So, we have also some 3D printed heart na ngayon ay kasalukuyang ginagamit or ginagawa ng Massachusetts Institute of University wherein kuha yung heartbeat, ginagaya, mayroong motor na nagpapatibok ng 3D printed heart but it's more on the trial period pa, no? So far. Okay, aside from printing organs, yung mga pagkain ngayon, ina-applyan na din ng mga 3D printer, and even the houses, no? So, houses. So, in terms of the speed, it is 20 times more faster than the conventional way of constructing a certain house. So, mas mabilis na siya. So, pakita natin yung video. Forward lang natin, no?
With a price guide of 2.5 to 2.7 million for this 3-bedroom home, eventually selling $1 million over reserve.
Done, sold to you.
With the price of houses skyrocketing out of control and putting a new home out of reach of most people.
Sold at auction for $2,740,000.
Companies have been trying to come up with cheaper solutions.
So from prefabricated na mga houses, ngayon yung mga houses, tini-3D print na.
By the name of SQ4D, has designed an industrial-sized 3D printer to print a full-size house on a...
Same principle, no? Yung three-dimensional axis, the X, Y, and Z axis. So instead of filament, kasi bahay ito, so yung ginagamit is yung cement, mixtures of cement and sand.
The company can set up the 3D house printer at the build site.
So ngayon parang sa 3D printing, no, yung naging limit is the imagination. Ang daming pwedeng gawin pagdating sa 3D printing.
In the interior and exterior walls of the house. The 3D printed house comes with 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, and an open floor plan. And because it is printed from concrete, its strength and durability exceeds that of conventional wood frame house construction.
With a price guide of...
Alright, so much for that, no? Let's proceed with the next element of the fourth industrial revolution, which is the artificial intelligence. So thank you, sir, no, for some overview regarding to artificial intelligence. But I will be focusing on the application of AI to well-being. So, in layman's term, no, yung AI is to recognize patterns, make decisions, and judge like humans. So, mag-iisip na parang tao talaga yung machine. So AI, in terms of medical applications, can be used for diagnosing diseases. So some of the forums I attended to international na mga conferences, so this AI will be disruptive, no? It's because, say for example, yung trabaho ng sa medical fields, sa pag-diagnose ng mga sakit, i-input na lang, ano ba yung mga symptoms, ano ba yung mga previous history, ano ba yung genetic patterns ng isang tao. So, si AI na yung magdadiagnose. So, may mga tanong ngayon nga AI ba could replace yung mga experts like the doctors. So, hindi naman ganun kadali, no? We still need the expertise of doctors to validate the AI kasi hindi pa ganun ka perfecto yung decision ng AI. So in terms of nutritional advice, meditation techniques, stress management, so may mga AI na applications na din na ginagamit. So input lang yung mga patterns, ano mga kinakain. So si AI na yung mag-suggest ano ba yung perfect na exercise, ano ba yung diet na good for you. In terms of sports, so nandyan si AI to analyze ano yung mga best way to optimize yung iyong performance in terms of sports. I-analyze ano yung data ng yung mga competitors. So yan. Say for example sa soccer, no? So ano yung chances na pwede kang manalo. So may AI na din. And in video games, so before the video games, although nalilibang ka na sa mga video games, but for now, kung titingnan mo yung mga video games noon, it's quite boring, no? Kasi ang mangyayari, mapipredict mo na yung pattern. Kasi paulit-ulit yung ano eh, paulit-ulit. May pattern kasi sa Super Mario ng mga Nintendo. So, tatalon-talon hanggang sa ma-finish yung task ng Super Mario. Sa ngayon, with application of AI, nagiging mas challenging yung mga games kasi yung kalaban mo is mag-iisip ng parang tunay na tao. And we have also this element of virtual reality and augmented reality. So they have some distinction, no? Augmented reality, also known as aura, versus virtual reality. Pagdating sa virtual reality, nandoon ka talaga sa parang science fiction na world. But in terms of augmented reality, so ina-apply yung, or ini-integrate yung digital information sa environment ng user. So ano naman yung application niya ngayon pagdating sa medical field? So in terms of the analyzing or analyzing the status, no? Say for example, the brain sa healthcare. So instead of looking into the real brain, by the use of virtual reality, you can look into the brain without the actual human brain and then create some analyze or study what is inside of the human brain. The same with other internal organs. Sa application naman ng wellness, so we have this VR. So instead of using huge facilities, mga equipments, so by VR, pwede ka na sa iyong room, sa loob ng kwarto, magamit mo siya, and then ma-enjoy mo na parang nasa environment ka na kung saan gusto mong mag-exercise. So, augmented reality at home, ito yung application more into business. Dito naman, say for example, bibili ka ng mga appliances, furnitures, and fixtures, pwede mong matingnan, may preview ka, no? Kung ito ay babagay ba sa interior ng iyong bahay. Sa mga sizes na gusto mong makita, kung fit ba siya sa iyong bahay. So you can have the preview, no, using the augmented reality or the aura. Okay, augmented reality in medical applications. So before gawin yung isang surgery or something, so they could have the augmented reality, no? Para at least yung decision making pagdating sa operations, mas makita ng mga experts or mga surgeons. So para mas maging successful yung operation. We have some application pagdating sa smart home, no? Sa the Internet of Things, the interconnectivity ng mga appliances sa pag-control ng bahay. So, yun yung another applications. Example for this one.
Alexa, play music for cooking.
Here's music for cooking on Amazon Music.
Alexa, add celery to my grocery list.
You already have celery on your grocery list.
Alexa, show me pasta recipes from Side Chef.
Okay, for pasta, here's a few recipes.
Alexa, what's the next step?
Add the mushrooms and garlic to the saucepan and saute until the mushrooms have softened.
Alexa, set a 30-minute timer.
30 minutes starting now.
Alexa, your very own sous chef that lets you shine in the kitchen.
Okay, yung aid ng advancement ng technology sa bahay. Pero meron tayong another example, parang short of maybe expectations versus reality siguro, no?
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, dentist at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
And we're gonna do one more.
Fire. Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open. Open door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Hey! Open door!
Play on the floor.
Sing on the floor.
Get over the door! Open the door!
Wrong voice command. Error.
Hey there, with a rock? Open door. Open door. Open door. Higher.
Higher volume.
Higher. Ayan, so parang short lang, no? Comedy ang expectations versus reality. Kung masyadong dependent siguro tayo sa technology. Okay, in terms of transportation naman, merong advancement into autonomous driving cars. But sa ngayon, may mga pilot test pa. Sa California, may long level of automation or pagiging autonomy ng self-driving car from 0 to 5. So kung saan yung 5 is fully autonomous na yung magiging design. And some of the science fiction, no? Sino yung mahilig science fiction dito? Like Iron Man, taas yung kamay nga, Iron Man, mga Mission Impossible. So yung mga sci-fi movies. So yun. So noon, napapanood lang natin yung mga nagliliparang kotse. But sa ngayon, no, yung development ng drone to utilize as for transportation, mayroon ng pilot test na ginagawa sa India at saka sa Dubai. So in terms of safety, so malapit nang maging into reality itong mga technology na ito. And maybe sa advancement ng technology, sino yung mahilig mag-order ng Shopee nga? Mahilig sa Shopee, right? So this drone will be utilized, no, sa pag-deliver ng mga parcels natin sa mga bahay-bahay. So hindi na riders yung kakatok So, yung drone na yung magdi-deliver, pipicturean na kayo kung na-pick up nyo na yung inyong mga parcels. So, magiging maganda din ito para sa disaster na mga calamities and disaster na ginagamit natin. No? So, yan. I think that's the end of my presentation. Well, thank you very much for your time and thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Bagasbas, for that very informative discussion. Our next segment brings us a groundbreaking initiative that merges innovation and service in an extraordinary way. The visionary behind Serbisyong Nuklear para kay Juan is a chemist and environmental scientist. Her field of expertise is in the use of nuclear-based analytical techniques in air pollution source apportionment and food drug traceability studies. Her research group analyzes fine particulate matter and black carbon in the atmosphere in Metro Manila and other places in the Philippines. Rice and drug samples for provenancing profile mapping. She's the current chief of DOST PNRI Nuclear Service Division. She was also formerly the head and laboratory manager of the Institute's Nuclear Analytical Techniques Application Section. Please help me welcome Dr. Preciosa Corazon B. Pabroa.
Maayong aga sa tanan. Okay pa ba tayo at lunchtime na? So, thank you for this opportunity to give you, to share with you what we do at the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. I'm sure na iba-iba yung pag-iisip natin pagdating sa nuclear, di ba? So, ano bang iniisip nyo pag nuclear ang pinag-uusapan? Mga bata, bomba ba ang naisip nyo? I'm sure, pagkatapos nitong toko, sana ma-widen na yung pag-iisip nyo kung anong ginagawa namin sa PNRI, okay? So actually, we have the mission to contribute to the improvement of Filipino life through the highest standards of R&D and specialized services. Okay, so we are addressing basic and other needs of one in terms of, we have the food. Saan ba to? Food, water, shelter, and clothing. Okay? So, our nuclear services use ionizing radiation. We have also the stable isotope and the radioisotope. So, what is ionizing radiation? So, these are radiation that knock off electrons out of atoms of groups of atoms. So, either they produce charged species or they can cause damage. So, we have the alpha, beta, and the gamma. So, what are the differences? So, with the alpha, it can be stopped by paper. The beta can be stopped by aluminum, and the gamma can be stopped by lead. So, yung energy na yan, na-utilize natin in different applications. So, the radioisotopes, we have the radioactive decay. We call radioactive decay. So, kahit wala kang ginagawa, ay magdidecay. So, yung ibang tao, hindi nila maintindihan kung ano yung decay. Kasi minsan sabi nila, bakit pinababayaan ni PNRI na mag-decay? Di ba? Kala yung parang food lang. So, this is different. So, kahit wala kang ginagawa, magdi-decay talaga siya. So, yeah, produce other radios. But, we know that we have natural radioactivity, and 80% of our exposure actually is from natural sources. So kahit pagkain mo lang ng banana, you get the potassium 40. Okay? So pag nag-eroplano tayo, meron ding cosmic rays. Okay? So yung mga frequent flyers dyan, merong malaking exposure actually. So here in nuclear fission, we have the splitting of the atom. So ito yung reason kung bakit malaking energy ang napoproduce sa nuclear power plant because of this splitting. And it goes through a chain reaction. So tuloy-tuloy yan until you put a stop. And these stable isotopes, so I'm sure na sa science, ano nyo rin yung stable isotopes, we make use of this to, these are non-radioactive, but we make use of this for water and soil management, environmental studies, food and nutrition assessment, and forensics. So we have accomplishments. So we have this mosquito mass rearing lab. Actually, we do the SIT. So, sterile insect technique. This is the one that's being used also for the mosquitoes. And this is the formerly the PRR1 research reactor. So, this was supposed to be decommissioned, but it was sort of resurrected, naging ano na siya Saturn. This is for training, education, research. So this was commissioned last 20 June of 2022. Then we have this irrigation facility. So this is being upgraded to a full automated gamma irrigation facility. So, cobalt-60 ang ginagamit ditong radioactive source. Then, there's an ongoing building of the Nuclear Medicine Research and Innovation Center. So, this will house the cyclotron for the PET CT scan for the early detection of cancer. So, some accomplishments, of course, here we were able to set the standard for the treatment of this pest, and it has been adopted as an international standard. So, extending the shelf life of value fruit crops through gamma irradiation. So, we can offer that also. And mutation breeding. So, may nagawa silang iba't ibang breed ng flowers or trees using the gamma irradiation facility. So, actually, yung kalatsuchi, meron na siyang mabango. Mabango na yung kalatsuchi. So, ito, we are promoting. So, naging kalendaryo na nga ni Sir Nanding yung maraming mutants. And we have also this super water absorbent. So using the carrageenan. And some of our colleagues also developed itong mga Monte Carlo Californium isotopes. These are Monte Carlo method analysis. Okay, and we also have an analysis of the corals for the 129 iodine 129, 127. So this determines kung nakarating ba sa atin yung mga, like for example, sa mga bomb testing or yung mga accidents before, kung nakarating sa ating water. And then, of course, we are prepared to have this, we have our dose rate monitoring systems, gamma dose rate monitoring systems in preparation for seeing to it, to know also if we are exposed to other environmental radiation. Okay, so we have some patents, development of multi-shell neutron spectrometer, and of course we have a series of publications, special issues with the Mindanao Journal of Science and the Philippine Journal of Science, and we have compendium of training statistics, the compass, and of course we have our PNRI reports. So, PNRI as of now has a dual function of promotion and regulations. So, we have a bill pending for the separation of the regulatory function of PNRI. We hope that it will eventually be passed and we can go forward. So, these are some of their inspection activities. And of course, they will transfer eventually to another. This one is a commercial facility for electron beam. So irradiation using the electron beam. So I think they are trying to open. They will have the opening soon for this irradiation facility with a cold storage facility. And we have our accreditations for different trainings. Of course, we have, so eventually we have every year, we hold our Atomic Energy Week, and we hope you would come also. It's an open house. And actually, we do it now after the COVID. We have it face-to-face and virtual. So, yung hindi makarating doon sa amin, you can visit our site for the Atomic Energy Week. Okay, so what else can PNRI offer? So we have in food safety and traceability. So hindi kami katulad ni FNRI for the safety, but we have more on the traceability. Okay. So in safeguarding food and water from radiological contamination, so we do the liquid scintillation counting and the gamma analysis of food samples. So nung nagkaroon tayo ng Fukushima accident, all the samples that enter the Philippines had to be analyzed. And actually sa export natin, we have to analyze also going out. And for liquid scintillation counting, so we have the gross alpha, beta, and radon analysis. And here is the food irradiation for decreasing microbial load of frozen burger. So it's also used to improve the shelf life of, example here, rambutan. So I think that's being used also for onions kasi hindi na nag-sprout ng basta-basta yung onions, di ba? Tumatagal ito. So for food fraud, so of course, with traceability, even without knowing how the food was transported, you will know if saan sila galing. Okay, so here we had also, I'm not sure if you're aware previously na medyo na media hype itong acetic acid, synthetic acetic acid in vinegar. So we have also amino acid authentication and then the rice samples and the honey adulteration. Okay, so we won't know if we just analyze for the acetic acid itself. But if we analyze for the carbon-14 activity, we will know kung natural siya o hindi. So at that time, previously we had 70% na fake vinegar. And then also Japanese rice. So we were able to see that one sample may be imported also and was exposed to pesticide, bromide, while in quarantine. Then for the amino acid, and recently this one is for honey. So they were also able to analyze, determine 70 to 86.5% adulterated honey from our Philippine local market. And for water safety and sustainability, so we can do this isotope hydrology. So coming from the ocean, you will have fractionation of your water. So looking at the stable isotopes, actually not all water are equal. Kasi may evaporation, precipitation, and through that, nag-iiba yung water. So we use this for characterization of groundwater and to determine yung vulnerability ng groundwater. So assisting industry, we have this non-destructive testing, available of non-destructive testing. And of course, we do the gamma ray column scanning techniques. So ito mga non-destructive ito, hindi mo kailangan kumuha ng sample para masabi mo na okay siya or hindi. Okay, so nuclear medicine for Juan. So we have the technetium-99m, although hindi pa tuloy-tuloy ito ginagawa, but we did already run for this. So preparation from molybdenum. And then keeping Juan's environment safe. So we have this air pollution source apportionment studies, determining what and how much and where are they coming from. And then lead-210 sedimentation rate to determine the sedimentation rate of marine sediments. And you can do core sampling and to determine the history together with the lead-210 dating, you would know what happened. Okay. And then, of course, I mentioned the radioactivity monitoring. And we have a worldwide monitoring system also in Tanay under the CTBTO. This is our radiation map of the Philippines. And also we introduced this radiation technology for pollution control. So this is the electron beam. We have this demo project ongoing, which is funded by the DOST NCR. So for a more efficient wastewater treatment. So we can see that although it needs shielding, we don't get the byproducts from unlike the other techniques. Okay, so we can do sludge treatment also, and there. So we have radiation protection, of course, and we can do cytogenetic biodosimetry to see exposure of workers, radiation workers. And we manage also our radioactive waste. Okay, so so it's just to say that we are to have the safe, comfortable life for Juan in food, water, shelter, and clothing. So we hope to see you we have many trainings actually, and we accept on-the-job trainees. I think Pisay, isang aming customer yan, and many other schools. So we hope to see you there also in PNRI. And I hope hindi na maging negative yung yung image ng nuclear science and technology. So thank you very much.
All right, there you have it, all the speakers and all the topics presented this morning. At this time, we would now be proceeding to the awarding of plaques of recognition to our speakers. To award the plaques, may I request the presence of the DOST 12 Regional Director, Engineer Sammy P. Malawan, to please come up the stage. Together with him is the Assistant Regional Director for Technical Services Division of the DOST 12, Engineer Normina Pam. Also joining with them in the stage is the Assistant Regional Director for Administrative and Finance Division of DOST 12, Sir Wahid Lucas. Republic of the Philippines, Department of Science and Technology, Regional Office 12. This plaque of appreciation is presented to Melissa C. Bulao, the Senior Science Research Specialist of the DOST Philippine Council for Health Research and Development, in her heartfelt gratitude for her unwavering support and in profound recognition of her exceptional contribution as a resource speaker on the topic Leveraging National and Regional Health R&D Agenda to Achieve Health Outcomes during the 2023 SOCSERGEN Regional Science, Technology and Innovation Week. Given this on 15th day of September 2023 in Isulan, Sultan, Kudarat, Philippines. Signed by Engineer Sammy P. Malawan, Regional Director. The same plaque of appreciation is presented to Dr. Annabel P. Villalobos, the corresponding member of the National Academy of Science and Technology of the Philippines. The same plaque of appreciation is presented to Carl Vincent D. Cabanilla, the Senior Science Research Specialist of the DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute. The same plaque of appreciation is presented to Sir Alfon Narquita, the Senior Science Research Specialist and Head of Management Information System and Planning Section of the DOST Science and Technology Information Institute. The same plaque of appreciation is presented to Engineer Jeffrey M. Bagasbas, the Special Science Teacher 4 of the Philippine Science High School, SOCSERGEN Region Campus. The same plaque of appreciation is presented to Dr. Preciosa Corazon B. Pabroa, the Nuclear Services Division Chief of the DOST Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. Now we would be proceeding to the awarding of. We would like to request our speakers to be on stage for photo opportunity. Now we would be proceeding to the awarding of plaque of appreciation to our supportive collaborators. This plaque of appreciation is presented to Lieutenant Colonel Carileo Pinagak, INF of the GSEPA of the Battalion Commander 5th Special Forces Battalion. He is to be represented by Captain Rex M. Zacarias. The same plaque of appreciation is given to Lieutenant Colonel Ray C. Rico from the Battalion Commander, 34th Infantry Battalion of the Philippine Army. He is to be represented by First Lieutenant Polren M. Bulawain, SC Philippine Army CMO Officer. Same plaque of appreciation is given to Lieutenant Colonel Ruel E. Gavillanes from the Battalion Commander 90th IB of the Philippine Army. He is to be represented by Captain Michael Alan R. Eugenio, CMO Officer of the 90th IB. Same plaque of appreciation is given to Lieutenant Colonel Dante Aragania, INP of the GSEPA, from the Battalion Commander 105 IB, GIDPA. He is to be represented by First Lieutenant Joffrey J. R. Halasan, PA. Same plaque of appreciation is given to Lieutenant Colonel Cayetano C. Pumares, PhD RES PA, CMO Officer of the 101st Community Defense Center. He will also receive the following plaques of General Patricio Ruben P. Amata, Lieutenant Colonel Lloyd T. Orculio, Lieutenant Colonel Julius C. Paclibar. Same plaque of appreciation is given to Colonel Alfonso R. Roldan, GSE INF PA, the Deputy Brigade Commander of the 602nd Brigade, 6th IDPA. Same plaque of appreciation is presented to Sultan Kudarat Provincial Police Office, to be represented by the Police Lieutenant Colonel Felix L. Fornan. Same plaque of appreciation is presented to Bureau of Jail Management and Penology Region 12, Isulan District Jail, to be represented by Jail Inspector Darius Vic Chavez. Same plaque of appreciation is presented to Department of Labor and Employment Regional Office 12, Sultan Kudarat Provincial Office, to be represented by Marnie Dave S. Ebalias, the Supervising Labor and Employment Officer of the Dole 12 SR Field Office. Requesting our supportive collaborators po for opportunity. Requesting our active collaborators po to be on stage for photo opportunity. Thank you.
And that is all for this morning. See you this afternoon and witness the In Touch with Excellence program. Meron po tayong buffet sa gilid. Pwede na po tayong pumila for the lunch. So, have a nice lunch po. Once again, Assalamualaikum and good noon.
You see the world differently, don't you? Success means no second goes to waste. Walls are just limits you can break free from. Workspaces are where dreams are laid out and brought to life. Your road's less crowded, because you take that extra mile. Customer satisfaction, that's not where it ends. It's just another starting point. You don't see problems. You see opportunities. You work at a speed others need to catch their breath for. You move, live, breathe with a vision no one else has. That's how you make things better. That's how you take things further. PLDT Enterprise.